He wants the Democrat Biden administration, which is divisive and incompetent, to label the Republican Party a terrorist party. I mean, is he calling for a civil war? What does he think that would do? We want to start with something that's something of a victory. You have today the news breaking that Nina Jankowicz, Soviet Mary Poppins.
Such a great nickname.
Thank you, sir. She has been told that she's going to have to be singing her deep state musicals somewhere else because the Disinformation Board, after only a few weeks of its creation, has been paused. Clay, it turns out when people find out what the anti-speech Democrat apparatus is up to behind closed doors, it's a problem for them. Doesn't go so well.
Yeah, Buck, this is another big win. And we're starting to stack some dubs, I got to say, as you start to look at the trajectory of the country. Now, the way that this story broke, and I know you read this article too, so it came out from the Washington Post. And if you read it, it's the entire conveyance is how the Biden administration basically failed the Soviet Mary Poppins, as you just said it, in terms of supporting her. And there's all these lines in the article where they basically imply that the reason why they had to shut it down was because there was all this attack on her from right-wing propagandists and everything else, and people went back through her history of online statements to demonstrate that of all the people who could have been Disinformation Board heads, that she was one of the worst. They shared different clips and things that she had said, and the whole thing is sort of a whining, woe is me, look at how unfair the internet is. They've said mean things about Nina Jankowicz. Ultimately, however, they have only suspended this, although it feels like this is basically dead. And so what it means is even CNN Plus, as the House Judiciary Committee tweeted out, outlasted the Ministry of Truth in the Biden administration. But this was just an epically bad decision, Buck. It was rolled out in an epically bad fashion. We're talking about dishonesty a lot to start off the show today because the Ministry of Truth and the Biden administration is on pause and hopefully en route to being shut down. But the degree to which lies have been enabled based on the Buffalo shooting and an opportunity to blame Republicans for it is really, quite frankly, insanely wild, even for left-wing lies. Listen to USC Professor Erroll Southers here and what he argues the Republican Party should be called.
We have to treat it as the terrorist threat that it is. You know, we rallied on 9/11. There was no question about what the country was going to do. We are facing the same threat. And we need to go one step further. Mr. Deutsch is on point. We should label them the domestic terrorist party. Put this to the Director of National Intelligence. Make this a national security threat. Vet our police departments and go back and then start to educate local, state, federal law enforcement on what this threat really is and start educating and make our communities aware of how vulnerable they are and how they are that enabling community that needs to rally against this threat.
This is a professor, apparently, at USC, which is not impressive and means nothing, right? When you think about professors, there are a lot of lunatics running around. This was one of the craziest things. At a period of a lot of overheated rhetoric, I can't think of anything more insane than what this guy is. So he wants the Republican Party, he wants the Democrat Biden administration, which is divisive and incompetent, to label the Republican Party a terrorist party. I mean, is he calling for a civil war? What does he think that would do?
The number, look, we condemn the shooting in Buffalo as we condemn all murders on this show. But the percentage of murders that are being committed by anyone with racist intent in this country is a pinprick of the overall murder rate, right? So I don't even understand how you can try and draw connections to 9/11 when you look at the number of people that are dying on a day-to-day basis all over this country in violent deaths. I agree. I would love for that to be infinitely lower. But if you eliminated all race-related murders, Buck, we'd still have 98, 97% of all the murders that are taking place in this country. It's a pinprick.